One thing we hear a lot is eat less, move more. I got to a stage, if one more person had told me eat less and move more, I will say your mother. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zogie and I'm a Gemini, which is why this channel is called Zogie the Gemini. So as you can see, we are back where it all started. We are back in my room, and because of the topic that we are going to be discussing today, I felt I need to be where I'm fully comfortable. I need to be able to really open this discussion, say my opinion and see what you guys are thinking. If you want to know what exactly I'm trying to say when I say obesity versus alcoholism versus drug abuse, then stay tuned, and whilst you're there, make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Now let's get into it. Also, if you're wondering why I look so beautiful, it's because I'm wearing ZOGIE'S hair collection summer wig. If you want a wig that's ready to go, pre-plucked, pre-bleached, pre-parted, pre-highlighted, pre-colored, pre-made, pre-everything, customized and ready to go, then make sure you check out the summer wig on ZOGIE'S hair collection. The link will be on screen or down below or both. So this video is kind of linked in with a video I made a few weeks ago, which is the reality of life after weight loss. Also, thank you so much for the reception in that video, guys. Like, such positivity, like it just reinforced how much I love you guys. It just reinforced how much I'm so appreciative of the community I have. Like, everyone just understands like what I was trying to say, and everyone was respecting my decision, for most people, which I really appreciate. Now, one thing you should know about me, yeah, and I hope you guys can get the gist of, I'm not a person that used to be bigger that hated their previous body, right? And not just for content, there's a lot of like reflecting and kind of understanding what made me stay at 210 kg for a while, right? What kind of kept me in that morbid obese kind of state? What is it? It's not just because I love the taste of food. It's not because I love cake so much, or I can't do without Chinese, or I can't do without pizza. What is the emotional and mental and physical restraints, yeah, that compiled me to kind of like feel like a prisoner in my own body, which is essentially how I felt for a number of years, right? So as part of my self-reflection, I actually wanted to bring it to you guys. Whilst I'm actually assessing like this chronic disease, which is obesity, I looked at other chronic diseases, alcoholism, drug abuse, and how the world views each one of those chronic disease completely different, right? When it comes to obesity, one thing we hear a lot is eat less, move more. I got to a stage, if one more person had told me eat less and move more, I will say your mother. No, because I would actually have to say your mother. If you feel like it's just so easy, yeah, let me just stop eating as much and let me just start running up and down the street, yeah, I'm gonna be skinny. If you think it's that easy, if you think it's that simple, obesity will not be one of the biggest life-threatening conditions around the world. It's not that easy, right? Before we actually get into the nitty and gritty of the video, I want to say I am not from a medical background, yeah. Everything I'm talking about is what I have researched and also what I've observed about society, right, and my personal experience too. So anyways, let's talk about obesity, alcoholism and drug abuse, right? Three chronic diseases. Each one of them are chronic diseases, and as I said, I feel like out of the three, a lot of people feel like they can solutionize obesity by telling you just stop eating as much as you eat. Like, if they just think it's that simple. But what I find interesting, I'm not saying obesity is as bad as alcoholism, or alcoholism is bad as obesity, or obesity is as bad as a drug abuse, but I'm just saying the common denominator is that they are all chronic diseases, and they are something that people use as a crutch, is an overconsumption of some type of substance, right? That's the correlation between the three. I feel like when people see an alcoholic here, they can see someone that's struggling. They can see someone that there is something that's causing them to overconsume on a substance, that a substance in moderation is not that bad. Alcohol, right? And a lot of times, if you see an alcoholic or unfortunately, if someone in your family or your friend is suffers from alcoholism, a number of times people say, oh, you should look for help, you should seek help. Who tells an alcoholic to stop drinking? Would you tell an alcoholic to stop drinking? Do you tell someone who abuses drugs to stop taking drugs? You see why you won't just say that to them? Because it doesn't, you yourself know. Imagine seeing an alcoholic and they're literally blacked out drunk here, or let's say they're during their sober stage and they're going to start drinking later on that evening. You're not going to say just stop drinking, because you yourself as an individual recognize that it is not that simple. You understand that there is something that mentally that's going on, emotionally that's going on with this person, as to why they turn to this substance and abuse the substance, and then it makes them be in a position that they are now. A lot of people can recognize the root cause, that it's not the alcohol. Right? It's not the alcohol necessarily is the problem. It's the mind, it's the mental. So when they suggest for you to get help, they're essentially telling you, they're not telling you, oh, get help so you don't walk to the shop to go and buy alcohol. Get help so you don't go and buy alcohol. Don't get help so you don't go and purchase alcohol. No, they say get help so your mind is not relying, and your body is not relying on you to overconsume on a particular substance that is causing damage to your body. And the same thing can be said about drug abuse. If you feel like a crackhead or whatever, you're not going to tell a crackhead, oh yeah, stop taking cocaine, because you know it is not that simple. You recognize that if you see, sometimes, I don't know, for me personally, sometimes I see someone who's like really high on drugs, and I'm thinking, what has caused you that? What happened? You know, the ones that you see like in Brixton, I know when you're coming from Stockwell, when you've gone past the skate park and there's one woman, kind of light skin, very, very skinny, petite. Obviously the drugs have done a number on her, and each time I see it, for the fact that the drugs have dislocated, I don't know if it's the drugs or maybe her fighting while she was high or whatever, it's kind of dislocated the bottom of her face, and I'm looking at like, what happened? That's the first thing I think about when I see someone that is suffering from a chronic disease. What happened? What did life throw at you that made you be how you are? And the reason why I'm making this video is because you may say I'm reaching, but when we see a fat person, a lot of time people assign it to gluttony, right? Even when you see movies or Hollywood, when they talk about gluttony, they showcase and portray a very fat person. Now, fatness and obesity, there's various reasons. I'm not going to be so naive and say every single fat person, they just overconsume the wrong things, because there's underlying health issues, but for the preference of this video, I'm only going to go for the type of obesity that's attained when you overconsume on the wrong food items, which is my type of obesity, the kind of situation I was in. Now, growing up as someone that's been fat all my life, it's interesting that I feel like people don't understand with obesity. It's really prevalent in children, right? We see a lot of young, big children, and a lot of times people, even like, I feel like even if you even have a fat mommy or fat father, they don't even know how to help you, because let's say, I remember as a child, I would have the same portion as everybody else, but people say to me, oh, Zogie, you don't need that much. You're gonna, all of that, you're gonna eat it. But you know what happens when you start policing a child, rather than telling a child, okay, this is why you, no, actually, if we're all eating the same portion, sorry, don't tell me nothing, if I decide to have more like certain things like greasy food or sugary food or fatty food, then cool, then you can let me know. But for you to segregate me and say, oh no, don't eat this because you're just gonna get fat, no. Do you know what that does? We eat in secret. And I don't know if anyone can relate to anyone who's watching this. You eat in secret. Do you know how many times I ate cake in secret? I ate in secret. My siblings will be like, we don't actually, I never see you eat. And I'm like, yeah, of course you don't. And the problem is, when you are a child, and you are scouted for eating certain type of food, you're not necessarily educated, you're scouted for eating certain foods. One, as I said, you eat in secret, yeah, but when you eat in secret, you overconsume. And as someone that really understands about calorie deficit and really and truly that a balanced diet is you burning more calories than you take in, the kind of things that you would like as a child, yeah, bro, if we look at a brownie has like 700 calories. A cookie has like 400 calories. And when you're a child, you're going for the jugular. You're trying to finish everything, yeah? So you're not even understanding that how much the amount of calories your body is intaking is crazy. And the reason why you're doing that is because you're scared to do it in front of others, and you're like, well, I don't know, it's not like I'm ever going to be allowed to really like just kind of have a snack in front of other people, because they're just going to scold me, they're just going to laugh or whatever. So let me just do this in secrecy, let me do this in, you know, hidden, right? You'll do it in your room, and if it's a constant basis, the weight is piling on, but the ridicule continues and it increases because you're getting bigger. So do you see how it's a vicious cycle? So as a child, everyone is just like, you see a fat child like, oh yeah, that child eats too much. I said to myself, yeah, hands down, if my child happened to be big, one, I will educate my child about nutrition, but two, try and find physical activities that the child actually likes and keep them there. Don't say, oh, you need to go football, or you need to go do this, you need to do that because you're fat. No, find something they like that encourages physical activity consistently, and educate them about nutrition. I'll be like, okay, you can have this, oh yeah, eat the cookie, I did have this here and there, but you need to eat your protein. Talk to them about protein, because a lot of, as someone that's African and Nigerian, growing up, carbs are the main things that obviously a lot of us get, if that makes sense. So they'll be like, finish your rice before you eat your chicken, finish your rice. And by the time you finish all your carbs, what we know about carbs now, carbs are very filling. They don't stay in our body for long, yeah. Our body, they're obviously our body's preferred energy source of energy, because it can break down carbs easily. But then you get hungry quickly with carbs as against to protein, because obviously protein, your body struggles to break it down, so you stay fuller for longer and it has more nutritional benefits, blah 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 blah. But I just feel like that lack of information, an obese child, the majority of the time, becomes an obese adult. And if they don't become an obese adult, they probably were bullied into not being an obese adult. And you know what they are? They are still an obese adult, but mentally. When you see an adult, yeah, that's so horrid, and they're so opinionated against fat people, go and look at their child's picture. Go and look at a picture when they were a child. You'll see, oh, you are one of us. But society broke you down so much so you ended up hating yourself. So a lot of times they became like a smaller version of themselves out of starvation. Literally, essentially, they got skinny out of hatred. Going back to an obese adult, as I said, there are a lot of things that most likely have happened in their childhood life. I would actually say that a lot of times an obese adult, the cause of their obese can actually be found in what happened to them when they were a child, or things that when they were younger, right? And they essentially use, and I'm not saying every single obese person out there, I'm not saying every single fat person out there, but I've spoken to enough fat people to know, and I'm talking also about personal experience here, that something happened or continuously happened, whether that's bullying, whether that's feeling like not included. Multiple things can obviously contribute to it, as to where they use food as a crutch, right? They use it as a coping mechanism. And it doesn't help that sugar, I don't know the study or the science behind sugar, but I do feel like sugar gives you some type of high. Yeah, I know it sounds weird, but I do generally think sugar and salt have some type of chemical reaction in your brain where you have this temporary sense of fulfillment. Just like when we see children and they take sugary stuff, they get happy, they get bouncy. Obviously it's not as much as when you're adult, but I do think it does have some impact on your body where you feel this kind of temporary sense of happiness, right? And in as much as people can like ridicule, like, oh yeah, so what, food made you happy? Yeah, it did. Do you get what I mean? The same way alcohol makes an alcoholic happy, the same way drug makes a drug addict happy. As I said, the common denominator between the three is a chronic disease and it is an over abuse of a substance, right? Drugs is different. Drugs is not good in any moderation, yeah? But for the most part, it's a substance, and if overconsumed, will have a massive impact in your life. And where I feel like obesity is even a bit more difficult is that if, once again, we're talking about obesity when you overconsume the wrong things, yeah, food in its state is not bad for you. And it took me so long to realize this. Cake is not your enemy, my sister. Sugary things are not your enemy. Salty things are not your enemy. It's the moderation and the overconsumption that is your enemy. And why do people struggle with moderation? Why do they all struggle with overconsumption? It is your brain. The same way an alcoholic will wake up in the morning and not eat and just want to purchase alcohol, the same way someone that's addicted to drugs just wants to take drugs and not focus on other things, your brain is telling you you need it, and you need more and more and more. And that is why I say weight loss is not physical. Weight loss is like 80% of it is not, sorry, 20% of it is physical, right? The gym, The main element of weight loss is mentally. You need to literally reset your brain. In order for an alcoholic to no longer be an alcoholic, they have to reset their mentality to tell themselves, no, I want better for myself and I want better for my life. So I am no longer going to overconsume this substance. I'm no longer going to abuse this substance. But it's their brain that has told them that. People that are now clean no longer take drugs. Their brain, they've been able to gather the willpower to say, nah, I'm not going to be a victim of this substance. I'm going to take control of my life and not be a victim anymore. I'm going to make the reasonable adjustments to be able to actually think clearly and not overconsume or overindulge in this particular substance, yeah? So that's why I say, when it comes to chronic diseases, I just find it interesting that when people see fat people, they see laziness, yeah? And a lot of times when people lose weight, they don't help the situation by jumping on the internet or social media and be like, yeah, when I was fat, I was this, I was that, I was this. No, that's kind of just probably you as a person. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Fatness did not necessarily make you lazy. You're probably just lazy. I can't lie. Fatness does not make you a horrible person. You're probably still a horrible person. Like, fatness can only do so much to you, to impact you. The rest of it is just you as an individual. And I just feel like if there was grace, yeah, given to people who struggle with obesity, if people, okay, if you're gonna say something, if people actually thought of, okay, what is causing this person to be in that predicament? What, like, not, oh, they like to eat food or they like to drink this, and no. What is the reason why? And that's the question. Even if you're obese, morbidly obese, that's the question you have to ask yourself if you're embarking in any type of journey. Why am I like this? What is causing me to stay in this current state? Does that make sense? Anyways, I'm going to wrap up the video. I hope that you guys can understand where I'm coming from. I really wanted to talk about these 3 chronic diseases. I'm not saying they are all the same, but what I am saying is it's interesting that these 3 chronic diseases are so prevalent in today's society. Like, we all seen an obese person, we all seen an alcoholic, we all seen a drug addict here. But the perception of it is so, the perception and the approach is so crazy. Like, people look at fat people with disgust. Like, it makes them uncomfortable. And I feel like, low-key, just to end this, the reason why people treat obese people the way they do is because alcoholism and drug addiction, the impact it has on your body, majority of the time it makes you slimmer. And I feel like that's how superficial people are. They will be more welcoming, more sympathetic to someone that's suffering from a condition, just as long as you kind of fit the script. Just as long as you still kind of fit society's norm of beauty. Just as long as it has an impact, if it makes your face hollow and you look like a ghost, that's fine, because they feel like, okay, at least you're still within that societal norm of beauty, which I find crazy. But anyways, let me know what you guys think down below. I know this is slightly different from my normal videos, but I feel like at the same time it's kind of on brand for this kind of discussions I want to have. But anyways, I'm going to love and leave you guys. Let me know what you guys think down below. As I said, this wig is called the summer wig, ready to wear, customized. Right now it's glueless, there ain't no glue inside. This is what it's saying. Anyways, I'll leave you guys, but let's continue the discussion in the comment section. I'll be responding to as many comments as I can. But thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll see you later. Bye guys.